In the chaos of war, one name echoed across the battlefields of the 12th century: Saladin, a warrior, a strategist, but above all, a man who changed history. Born in 1137, Saladin wasn't always destined for greatness. A Kurdish boy raised in the courts of Syria, he learned early that power wasn't given, it was earned. Under the rule of Nur ad-Din, he mastered not just the art of war, but the duty of leadership, a call to defend. For nearly a century, Jerusalem had been in the hands of the Crusaders. For Saladin, it wasn't just about conquest, it was about justice. He united Muslim factions, forging an army with one goal: to reclaim the Holy Land, beginning the Battle of Hattin. Then came the battle that would change the fate of the Holy Land. Hattin, 1187. The Crusader army, led by King Guy of Jerusalem and the Templars, marched under the blazing July sun, hoping to relieve the besieged city of Tiberias. But Saladin had planned every step. He ordered his men to set fire to the dry grass, choking the Crusaders with smoke. With every passing hour, their strength faded. By the time the battle began, they were already defeated in spirit. Saladin's army struck with precision. His cavalry, fresh and well-hydrated, crushed the exhausted Crusaders. The true cross, the sacred relic carried by the Crusaders, was seized, a devastating blow to their morale. In a single day, the Crusaders lost nearly their entire force. Thousands were killed, and the Knights of the Templar and Hospitaller orders were executed. But Saladin spared King Guy. Instead of killing him, he handed him a cup of water, an act of chivalry, though he refused to do the same for Renaud of Chatillon, a brutal Crusader lord who had repeatedly attacked Muslim pilgrims. The recapture of Jerusalem. On October 2nd, 1187, Jerusalem was his. But there were no massacres, no revenge. Unlike the Crusaders who had slaughtered its people decades earlier, Saladin ordered protection for all. No churches were destroyed, and even the defeated Crusaders were allowed to ransom themselves rather than face death or slavery. Saladin versus Richard the Lionheart. Saladin's greatest challenge came in 1191, Richard the Lionheart. The English king was no ordinary opponent. He was a warrior, ruthless and brilliant in battle. When Richard took Acre, he executed 2,700 Muslim prisoners in full view of Saladin's army. In response, Saladin launched a brutal campaign of hit-and-run tactics, wearing down the Crusaders. The two clashed at Arsuf, where Richard led one of the most famous cavalry charges in medieval history. Saladin, known for his tactical genius, attempted to lure Richard's forces into a trap, but the Lionheart held firm, securing a rare Crusader victory. Yet, despite their rivalry, Saladin showed his true nature. When Richard fell ill, Saladin sent his own doctor and fresh fruit to aid his recovery. And when Richard's horse was killed in battle, Saladin gifted him a new one. In an era of brutality, these acts of honor defined him, the treaty and Saladin's legacy. In the end, neither could completely defeat the other. In 1292, the Treaty of Jaffa was signed. The Crusaders would keep control of the coastal cities, but Jerusalem remained in Muslim hands. Christian pilgrims, however, were granted safe passage, an agreement forged not through bloodshed, but through respect. Just a year later, in 1193, Saladin passed away in Damascus. Though he had ruled an empire, he died with barely enough money for a proper burial, having given his wealth to the poor. His final lesson? True greatness isn't measured in riches, but in the legacy we leave behind. Centuries later, his name still stands for something greater than war. In the West, he became a legend of chivalry. In the East, a symbol of unity and justice. Even Richard the Lionheart, his greatest enemy, once said, "No man was ever more generous or more merciful than Saladin." His empire may have faded, but his legacy endures, a warrior, a leader, and a man who believed in the power of honor. Want to uncover more legendary warriors of the past? Subscribe to the Historiae and join us on this journey through time.